Oh, wait, I'll do it.
Okay, thanks. Hello from the outside. Just a little bit more. Woo! Good job.
Yay! But can you put it in this so I don't have to take water bottle?
You want me to do everything for you. Can
Here.
you just do it yourself?
Because I literally have a mic in the other hand right now.
Yeah, like I didn't.
I literally brought cookies for our tea, by the way, Mira, and Mira didn't make the chai.
Sorry.
She's ruining.
I'm a very busy woman. Okay. Hello, everybody. Or wait, do you want to move a little bit more that way?
Wait, Mira, be normal.
Tika. Say yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna burn, right? Okay.
I like that.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, this is Fatima.
This is Mira. Amira. Not Mira. That's just what Fatima calls me. And this is what is our thing called?
Dastaan! Like the podcast.
Oh, these Dastaans with the Dastaan
Oh,
team.
that's so good.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Welcome.
She came up with that on the spot, guys.
I literally did.
Just like how we came up with Dastaan on the spot.
Welcome to, well, it did take a lot more brainstorming. I'm not gonna lie.
That's true.
We
Yeah,
were going through our
true.
favorite Urdu words. Acha. So basically, guys,
Yeah.
welcome back. Welcome to our very first episode of Dastaans with the Dastaan team, featuring
Fatima.
Mira. All right, hey guys, and welcome to the first ever episode of Dastaans with the Dastaan team, featuring
Fatima.
and Amira. Yay! We're gonna put applause in the background of that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Today Fatima chose a story that she wanted to share with me. So
yeah, I'm really excited. This is a story that I read for my English class, and when I read it, I was like, "Oh my god, why is this the epitome of what we've been talking about for the past like year and a half when it came to Dastaan?"
Okay.
So the name of the story is Squatter by Rohinton Mistry. He's a Indian Canadian author. Okay. He's actually still alive. And
okay.
And the story basically follows this guy named Sarosh. He's a Parsi man from India, and he immigrates to Canada, and you know, he's trying to figure out how to like assimilate to Canadian culture, Western culture, but there's this one problem that he just like cannot overcome.
Okay.
And it's kind of funny, but he can't figure out how to use a Western style toilet.
Okay.
That is his problem.
That's crazy. Okay.
Yeah, so he figures out eventually how to use it, but a few years later he returns to India.
Yeah.
And he finds that he can't really assimilate to Indian culture either anymore.
Okay.
And the story kind of ends off in him kind of confused as to what culture he really resonates with.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that's a very interesting metaphor. I feel like it's not even a metaphor. Like, for some people, it's, like, properly, like, how it is. Like, I know for a fact, like, I have family back home. Like, when we installed Western toilets in our house, I'm 100% sure that they still don't know how to use it. And it's, like, not even a problem. It's not a problem of, like, education or anything else.
Yeah.
It's simply a problem of, like, different cultures, you know, like an Eastern toilet versus a Western toilet. But anyways, like in a more metaphorical sense, I would say that, I mean, that's so interesting. I feel like, I mean, I can relate to that. Like when I came to Canada, which was 3 years ago, I think I definitely I struggled with a lot of cultural norms here.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like a culture shock. I'm sure you felt the same way when you came. And like the norms here were just so different. And especially being in business school, like when there was this one event that I went to, like a networking event, and when I said something, and it was like a joke that I made, but the joke was, it could have been taken in like not an offensive manner, but more like it was not appropriate for the situation.
What was the joke?
It was literally like something about mat leave.
Oh.
And yeah, and so I understand that here it's a more touchy subject. But the thing is, like, where I was in Kuwait, mat leave and women's rights and just everything around women and working, it was just so protected, and you'll never, like, it's so easy. It's made so easy. So when I came here, I just, like, I didn't understand at first. And so when that happened to me, I mean, the actual, like, lady that I was talking to, she like laughed at my joke. But there was like this guy who was part of the company, and he was like,
yeah, I mean, he can't really like, he's like, can I laugh or can I not?
No, he was straight up like, the way he was looking at me, I was like, why are you judging me right now?
Yeah.
Which is, but I don't know why it feels like it's, I'm sorry, I feel like I'm talking a lot.
No,
but I don't know why it's so okay for people to, you know, make mistakes or not understand Eastern culture or Eastern values.
That is so true, yeah.
Especially when they go there too, right? When you're visiting. It's more like a tourist experience, but when I have just immigrated here for a better life or for whatever, it's not as accepted to not be culturally versed in Western values.
No, I agree with that. And I feel like, well, I've had a similar experience, but a bit different. So for me, in terms of networking, I always had difficulty knowing what topics to talk about, because I think people bond over very different things over here in Western culture compared to what people bond over there about. So for example, I had this bio prof in first year, and he was amazing. Like, I really wanted to like vibe with him. I really wanted him to, you know, take me on in his lab or something like that. And every single time I went to him, I don't know why, like, I have a really difficult time faking the things I'm interested in.
Real.
And he was into skiing and fishing. You know, I'm not saying that's a stereotypical Western culture thing, but a lot of people in Western culture, like, that's like very common. Like, in the winter, they go skiing or they go fishing and stuff. And I had this like one classmate, and he entered the office hour time with me.
Okay.
And he just like went off with him about skiing, and they just got on so well. And I was just sitting there like, oh my God, I need to go skiing now.
Yeah, you kind of like have to do things to fit into a cultural thing. And I guess that like ropes into like EDI and stuff that they're implementing now. And it's like, people shouldn't necessarily have to, what's the word? Like conform, like conform on what you like to do or what's fun for you in order to fit in. And it took me a really long time to understand that.
Yeah, it's okay to like be yourself and talk about the things you like talking about.
Yeah, not everybody's gonna understand you, and that's completely okay.
Yeah.
Like, the world's not gonna end.
Yeah, and that's why like representation is so important, especially in the workplace. Like, if you're applying for a job and you see someone who looks like you, or you see someone from the same culture as you, it's so much easier to resonate with the workspace environment, or like the people in that workspace, because it's not just people who go skiing and fishing. It's also people who like making food or I don't know,
or
like,
certain types of food, or just like random things. And it's not even a cultural thing at some point. At some point, it's just like a what you like to do thing. And that like varies across cultures. Like, I could share hobbies as someone from a different culture.
Yeah, it's so true.
But I mean, yeah, it's just like, I think when we first came here, like the shock of like how, especially I keep going back to business school, but Smith, this is actually not my cup. This is actually my housemate's cup. But anyways, like when I like going back to that, it's just like, as soon as I came here, it was like these finance bros, and I was like, oh my God, I'm in the wrong program, because I mean, firstly, I wanted to do sciences, but secondly, it was like, when I came in, I was, is it just about like being a finance bro? Is that what I'm supposed to do? But I just couldn't relate to any of them. And I felt like it was a little bit cliquey as well. But honestly, like, you find your niche, you figure it out. And it's not just like
people,
and especially like first year, everyone's just like going, it seems like everyone's going on the same path. So I was like, whatever. And that's not true.
Yeah, it's interesting. And then the fact that he goes back to India, and then he's unable to assimilate over there, I found that so interesting, because as someone who, so I lived in Canada for a good amount of like my childhood.
Yeah.
And then I moved back there.
Yeah.
And then I came back here for university. And I remember over there, everyone would call me Burger. Burger, for context, means someone who is like whitewashed, westernized. And then I came here and everyone's like, oh my god, you're so cultured. You're like a fob. So it's interesting because people perceive me differently, and then I'm also kind of like stuck in this limbo of, do I resonate more with my Pakistani culture or my like culture over here? But it's literally just about like adapting it to whatever the situation is. Yeah. Like when I went back to Pakistan this winter for my cousin's wedding, honestly, like I didn't feel super tapped into my Pakistani culture. I was like, everyone kind of just associated me with Western culture, straight up. Everyone's like, oh my god, like your accent is so westernized.
Even though it's not really.
Yeah, and like over here, people notice the like when I say ways or like water or whatever, you know, like the W's and
She
B's.
definitely has that.
Yeah, it's a problem. It's a struggle.
It's not a problem as long as everyone can understand you. I don't think an accent makes a difference.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, and I just like I understand that so much because the thing is like growing up. So I never lived in Pakistan, unlike Fatma, but when I was in the Middle East, and so when I was like growing up, like Pakistan's so close, so I would go at least once every year, and I would spend like 4 months of summer living at my pupa's house. And the thing is, like, I lived just like them. There was nothing that I did differently to them. Like, we were in the same load shedding hours. We ate the same food. Like, it was the same heat for all of us. Like, no one had extra AC. No one had like throughout the day, like we didn't have AC, and it was perfectly fine with me. Like you just adapt to that situation. But for some reason, and I think like my close cousins, the ones who are like very close to me, I think they never differentiated with me. And in fact, if there was anything that I didn't understand, they would try to explain it to me instead of judging me. But I think like with my extended family and maybe even like my like older relatives, I think for them, I'm like a very bold girl. And I'm just like, no, I literally just have opinions. And it's like, and I will never say anything in a rude way. It's just like, I have a stronger personality sometimes. I mean, obviously you have to over time adjust and learn how to act, where to act. And you should always be yourself, but learning how to be yourself while also at the same time assimilating to the situation that you're in is very important as well. And I think that's a skill you have to learn. And you shouldn't like give up your personality for it though.
I agree. And I think that like makes me question, is it a bad thing to have two different cultures that are colliding? Or
never.
Is it a bad thing that, you know, you associate yourself with Western culture but also South Asian culture, and you just don't know which one you resonate with more? Like, do you have to resonate with one more, or can you just like coexist with both of them?
I mean, I think I'll leave this as an open question to everybody. Personally, as someone who also grew up in Kuwait, it's like I have Arab culture too. Like I literally speak Arabic. You know what I mean? So what am I supposed to resonate with? I don't get it. So, but honestly, I embrace all of those cultures. Like I personally embrace like all those different sides in different ways. And I love every single side of it, you know? And I think you do too.
Honestly, same. Like, I feel like I love being able to talk about my Desi culture with people. I think a lot of people who don't know about it really enjoy hearing about it. They really enjoy trying like Desi food or learning about our culture outside of, you know, the stereotypical things they've heard online. And aside from that, I do think it's also very important, like if you're immigrating to a country like Canada and you're trying to get jobs in this environment, you need to be able to assimilate to Western culture. Like don't assimilate, I mean, not don't, but you know, personally, I probably wouldn't want to assimilate to the point where I'm just this westernized version of myself. I feel like my Pakistani culture or my South Asian culture has given me so much and so much of my identity and so many of the things that I love doing. I love just having a cup of chai, you know what I mean?
Word.
I love learning more about Pakistani culture. it's just so embedded in me that I can't ever imagine, giving it up for any other culture or any other identity fully. Mm-hmm. But I think keeping both of them hand in hand is very important, because if you're going to, like, at least for me, I'm trying to get into medicine. And if I'm trying to practice medicine in a Western country, I need to be able to resonate with patients who are from this culture. Like, I can't impose my cultural norms onto them. And so it's important to assimilate, but knowing, like, your own boundaries is very important, in my opinion.
Yeah. And it's important because Canada is such a diverse country.
Yeah.
You need to be able to resonate with all different cultures. And I think us, like, having those different backgrounds and experiences, it really adds value, because you can
That's so true.
empathize with people of different backgrounds, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool. But
yeah, I mean, we'll leave you guys with that question, though. Let us know what you think.
Yeah.
What was the question, Fatma? Repeat it.
Okay, wait, let me word it in my head. Is it
I want to word it in a good way too.
ChatGPT?
Or how do you feel about yourself, if this applies to you or other people that have multiple cultural backgrounds, in different ways? That could be, if your parents are from two different countries, or say you're grew up somewhere else and you're ethnically from somewhere else, or you have a citizenship of somewhere else. But anyways, any multicultural, like, how do you guys feel about that? And how do you think that makes you as a person? How do you identify with all the different cultures, and how have you balanced that?
You know what? We will leave a very well-worded question up on the top over here.
Because that was a very loaded question, and we have many more episodes to discuss.
So many more episodes. But yes, definitely give Squatter by Rohinton Mistry a read. It's a very short story, so it won't take long. But I definitely recommend reading it, because honestly, I feel like I just needed to read that. I didn't even know literature like that existed out there.
Yeah. Exactly.
Definitely give it a read. Thanks so much for joining our first Dastaan.
Yeah. Our first Dastaan. Featuring only us for now.
For now, yeah.
Stay tuned.
Thanks. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Oh, bye, guys.
Oh my god, I didn't realize how, like, difficult it